Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back. So now let's look a little bit more into how the false ego manifests in a male body. It's important to understand if we want to have harmonious relationships, which I think we do all want, right? So we know men like to be heroes, right? So how does that come out, in relationships? Well, a man really desires to be the hero. He dreams about being the hero, and just the possibility of being the hero for a woman really makes the man thrive, right? And we actually have daydreams about that, especially in relationships when you just come together, everything is fresh and the heart chakras open and so on. We really we can't help it. It just starts in our minds how we can be the heroes. We imagine situations and it's automatically happening. We don't have to put energy into that, And I don't think, vice versa, it's true that the lady wants to be the hero for the man. The lady have different desires, right? And the easiest thing to just notice that is, just a typical, when we look at those typical classic, I wouldn't say it horror movies, but those old movies where there is, say, this lady in, back then, skimpy dress, today it would look quite chaste, the piece of floor sitting somewhere on a rock at a river or in the mountains or in the forest, somehow kneeling down, and then some monster comes, Godzilla or something like that happens, and her job is just to sit there and scream, this high-pitched scream, and the camera actually goes right up to her mouth, and basically it's just her mouth on the screen, and you can see all the bad mouth hygiene, that close up, and that big scream, and the tongue, and you just see the tongue and the teeth, right? And some hero somewhere hears it, and he comes to the rescue. Right? That's what, that's what's going on in the male's mind. The man wants to be the hero. He would give his life to rescue that lady, rescue his wife, or if he's not married, any lady anyway. Or even if he's married, he wants to protect women, be the hero. That's how the false ego comes out, and that inspires a man. That gives a man purpose. A man wants to feel needed. It's that simple, actually. A man wants to feel needed. And it comes out in this hero, fantasies almost often, right? We talk about that a little bit more when we talk about later on the male movie theater. So that's quite embarrassing for the men. It's something ladies should be aware of. But for now, we talk just about the hero aspect, all right? So that makes a man thrive. That's how his false ego is built. And if you consider that, we can actually, use that to help having harmonious relationships. Because there's also then the opposite factor, right? What can the false ego not tolerate? If he wants to be a hero, there are things he's aspiring, wishing for, and there are things which he cannot tolerate, right? And now, let's just, for entertainment purposes only, think the other way around. Imagine, instead of this lady in a skimpy dress, sitting on a rock, screaming her head off, it's a man in some loincloth, some copins, or maybe some little bit more than a gamsha, or something like that, on a rock. And there's some monster coming, or a mouse. Imagine a mouse. It's even more funny, Often the husband, when we have sometimes mice, and my wife doesn't like him, and she can't deal with them, so I have to be the hero. It's great, love it. But imagine there is this guy, not even Godzilla is coming, just a little mouse, and he jumps on the table, jumps on the rock, camera goes on his mouth, and he just screams, "Ah!" I don't think any lady would think, wow, that's what I've just been waiting for. I'm gonna go there and rescue the guy. It's like my opportunity to be his hero. No way. You would think, what the freak? What a loser. What's that? Right? You would be turned off. What a guy. You definitely wouldn't want to marry the guy and be with him for the rest of your life. You would just think, what a joke. Right? Because you have different expectations from a man. You're not thriving on being the hero, rescuing. That's not the nature, generally speaking, I'd say. Doesn't mean you're not helping someone in a situation or whatnot. That doesn't mean that. Yeah. You may still take the mouse away for the guy, but you would think, what a joke, right? So that's, in these situations, we can just see how different how differently the false ego manifests in the male and female body. We just have to remember, we are not the body, right? And the false ego is the same. The false ego carries us into different bodies, so it just manifests differently according to the body we're in. The whole programming is different. Right. So, obviously, in everyday life, there are not so, we're not confronted with monsters every day or enemies plundering your town or anything like that, where the man actually can be the hero. What does it mean, being the hero in everyday life? One big aspect is providing for the family. He makes him the hero. He provides for the family. He protects. He makes sure they have everything they need. That's what inspires the man. And we hear how he's happy to work night and day hard, And the whole purpose of why that false ego of the man is designed like this is that he actually is inspired to take care of the lady, is inspired to take care of the children. There are species of life where the whole purpose of the man is just procreating and then he's off. Or other species that the lady gobbles him up like a spider. Spiders, that's it. There's no other purpose for the man. But especially in human society, because children are born so immature, it takes such a long period of time of protection for them. It's not like a horse, they get up and run, or it doesn't take very long for them to keep up with the herd, for example. So there's so much more protection needed for the child, and then obviously for the mother at the same time to help, providing. So we need whole villages, communities to support. So that's why the false ego is designed. How it manifests through a male body. It's designed in that way. So he can take care. The woman is protected, is taken care of. The child is protected, taken care of. There's support there. Without that design of wanting to be the hero, wanting to be needed, it's ingrained in a man's heart, actually. And that gives him so much purpose in life. Without that design in the heart, without the false ego manifesting in that way, there wouldn't be any impetus for the man to take care of the lady. There wouldn't be any impetus for the man to take care of the child. Especially when we then see how much argument can come, how many troubles in a relationship can be, simply because we work so differently. So much argument and conflict can be there. Why would the man deal with all that if he wouldn't want to be the hero? Hero meaning being needed, having a purpose, that's the purpose for a man. Providing, protecting, fulfilling the needs of his dependents. That's so important for a man. That feeling of being needed. And consequently, in the situation where, some monster is coming, right? It's quite obvious, like, if that lady on the rock would be stronger than him, would be faster than him, more intelligent than him, and so on, then she wouldn't need him. She could take care of herself, right? So in order for him to be the hero, externally at least, it has to look like that he is superior. Right? It's the stronger protecting the weaker. And we're going to discuss that a little bit more later. Right? But that's such an important point. That's why it's said, the husband should be superior in all respect. Does that mean that men are superior to women? No! But we can just see that if he needs to feel needed, if that's an intrinsic need for the man to be inspired, to put his energy, his heart into the relationship and everything, then it just makes sense. If he's older, there's already some little, he's superior in that regard. It makes it easier for him to have that, authority, so to say, or the not superiority and thing of better, but he can be the hero. If he has better education, if he's stronger, if he has more money, that all adds to that point that he's superior, and automatically he feels needed. He can give protection. He can give means. He can provide. It gives him purpose. Right? Turn it around. Have the lady be older, senior in devotional service, have more money, better education. What's left for him? How can he have any purpose in that relationship? He wants to be needed. He wants to provide. He wants to protect. But she doesn't need him for that. Deprives the guy of his whole purpose in life. Deprives him of the inspiration which brings him forward, which makes him take care of the lady. Deprives him of that. Right? So if we understand, if we analyze that in that way, that's why husband should be superior in all respect. Not because he's better, he's more worth, because he's a man, or any that's bodily nonsense concepts, macho concepts. That's nonsense. No, but because then his need to be the provider, the protector, his purpose in life will be there. And that there's no value attached to that situation. And we can understand, well, if he is a little older, if he has better education, if he is senior in devotional service, if he has more money, more riches, more whatever, if he has those, if he is superior in so many aspects, it makes it also easier for the lady, for the girl, to see him as her hero. But imagine, right, if you're in a female body, you have a good education and so on, and you're supposed to marry a guy who didn't even finish school, who has no money, who's a little, how we call it, a weakling, right? How would you be able to see him as your hero? Oh, that relationship will be prone for just to disintegrate. He doesn't have a purpose. You will be disappointed, as the woman, or the wife in that relationship. Well, it's just that situation is just calling for being a disaster. So understanding those aspects of how the man really needs to be the hero just helps so much, especially when we enter the relationship. We talk about that at the very end, just very briefly. some about how to enter a relationship, a marriage relationship, in the proper way. Understanding what we talked about and what is still to come. Understanding that, we can avoid again so many issues in advance. Simply understanding that. And it doesn't mean that relationships where the wife has more money when they start, or when the wife is senior and older, it doesn't mean those relationships are doomed to fail. No, it simply means it may require a little bit more effort on the lady's side to actually make him her hero, make him feel needed. That despite he's a young bhakta and she's already a devotee for 10 years, she can still accept his spiritual guidance. Obviously, if there's humility, if she's more advanced in devotional service, there should be some humility. And if she actually allows him to be her spiritual guide at home, so to say, then he'll catch up. And he becomes actually her hero. That will empower him to actually be the hero. Hero wants to be in charge, provide. That's all intrinsically in the male false ego. And what does it mean in everyday situations? Simple circumstances. Doing some heavy lifting. Oh, can you help me with this? Sure, here, please. It can be a colleague at work. It doesn't mean, he's just an all, wants to marry that. It just makes his day if he can be of help of a woman or old lady. Helping her carrying something up, if it's the neighbor in the same apartment building or something, and you carry something up for that old lady. He's the hero. He helped that lady. Lifting some luggage up in the airplane or in the train into the overhead compartments. That's fine. That makes the man stay. Even holding a door open. That's just basic courtesy. And I wanna just finish that first part with a little story Devaki Mataji shares. When she travels in Germany by train, she's asking men if they could please help her lifting the luggage. And that enlivens. That's such little things will make a man stay. But one time, she again asked that one man who was around, "Oh, excuse me, could you please lift that luggage up for me?" And this lady comes up, "I can do that for you." And she lifts it up, puts it up, and what can she say? "Thank you very much." But how did the man look? He was like, "Wow, I can be the hero." And then this lady come up, and he's just like, what can be done? That's how it is. A man is just ultimately waiting for a situation where he can do this. Or, typical example, breakdown at the road. Lady, car breaks down, or tire is flat, and you just stop and help out. Simple things. Everyday heroes, Simple things. And that's what a man strives for. And if you understand that in a relationship, we can create situations or adjust our situations in such a way that is considered, that inspiration stays there. And we're going to talk about, in the next session, the flip side of the coin. What is difficult for a man, because he wants to be the hero, ultimately there are then things which really disturb him, because it hampers his position as the hero in the relationship. That's what I call upon trampling upon a snake. So we'll discuss that next time. And we're going quite quickly through that, because I think it's quite easy to understand, and you can just process it on your own. Talk with your husband, talk with each other about that. It's quite entertaining, actually. Actually talking about it. That's the whole purpose of it. Let's talk about it. Okay? So we'll see us again in the next session when we talk about trampling upon a snake, connected to the heroes, the flip side of the coin. Okay, so thank you very much, and see you soon again. Hare Krishna.